want you to prepare yourself for a great word from the Lord just for you. Please like and share. I know you're going to enjoy this message. Prepare yourself. Get your paper and pen if you believe you need it. Let's get ready to go into the message.
Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3. And I'm going to try to cue in particular on two verses. Philippians chapter 3. On two verses. Paul is writing to the church at Philippi, and not only he encourages and appreciates them for them helping him in a time of need, but he also takes the opportunity to instruct them in areas and takes the occasion to let them know that you can't veer off and start separating yourself. You need to stay focused. You need to be on one accord in what you do for God. And so in Philippians chapter 3, Paul uses himself as an example in verse 13, Philippians 3 and 13. This is what he says. Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, I love that, and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. One more. I press toward the goal for the prize of the upward call of God in Christ Jesus. Would you help me just for a time of remembering this verse? Would everybody say real loud, stay focused on the goal? That was a few of y'all. Everybody say it out loud. Say, stay focused on the goal. You can have your seats. Stay focused on the goal. A young lady born in 1993, Safan Hassan, she was an Ethiopian-born Dutch, middle and long-distance runner from the Netherlands. She was in the race with, I don't know how many others. It could have been 10 to 15 others. And this was preparing her to be a part of the Olympics in 2020. And so while in Tokyo preparing for that, she's running, and in the middle of the crowd, someone tripped, and it tripped her, and she fell. She fell and ended up at the back of all of the runners. She failed. They're running the 1,500-meter race. She failed, and she's now at the back. Do you know this young lady got up and began to run at such intensity? She's at the back. She begins to run, passing up 2, passing up 3 and 4. The last, it is said, 300 meters. This woman gave it her all. She passed up everybody to do a larger margin than even they thought she could be. I read that and I said, what kind of person could this be that this young lady would trip and fall by no accident or no means or reason for herself, but she gets up. I will confess to you, Sister Watson, that I don't think we would have blamed her if she would have stayed there. I don't think we could have blamed her if she would have just got up and said, I'm just run to finish the race. But she had something else on her mind. she would not allow the mess up, the accident, the trip, the fall to keep her from winning and going after the goal. She got up, and that's what I believe God is trying to say to you and I from the book of Philippians. Nobody goes through life without problems. Nobody goes through life without sometimes a trip, a fall. But what are you going to do? One songwriter, Sister Coleman, says, we fall down, but we get up. You might cry. It may hurt. You may have injury, but don't stay there. A young lady the other day, I had a privilege while I'm doing some work. Everybody say, stay focused on the goal. I'm talking to her, and she talked about a physical medical ailment that she could no longer do something that she had dreamed of doing, and she got into it, and she said, I can't do it anymore. Elder Witherspoon in particular, she was a classical pianist. She said, I can't do it anymore. So she said, I changed my dream and my goal. That was, I did it. I can't do that anymore. I changed it, and now I'm doing something else. I thought to myself, how many people use excuses? I can't do it for this reason, or this happened to me, or this happened to me. Don't you know that God is not limited by your goals? I've been trying to get this out. God is not handcuffed based on your past or your difficulties or your failures. You are serving the wrong God if you think you can stop him from putting something else ahead of you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open this up. I may as well today. Somebody shout, open it. That's all I needed was one or two. I'm going to let you let in on something. Believe it or not, God is not through with you yet. All right. But Pastor, I can't do this well. I have this disability. God is not impressed with disabilities. You can't give God an excuse. Somebody's talking about age. Come here, Abraham and Sarah. Yeah, they'll tell you, don't try that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Somebody would say, oh, no, it's something that I'm dealing with in my flesh. Paul would say, He'll put a thorn in there and tell you, my grace is sufficient. Everybody say, stay focused on the goal. Somebody else is saying, but the doctor has said this, that, and the other. If I had time, I would mess with you in this room. All right, I might as well do it. There are musicians that are physically blind. One of my favorite, I won't call names because some of y'all would hold it against. Yes, I will. He's physically blind. One was Ray Charles. Major musician, songwriter. Another one, some of y'all that's a little younger may remember Stevie Wonder. Major. I mean, they're saying this is my disability out there, but I can still not only thrive, but I can still be a major contributor. What everybody say, stay focused on the goal. This young lady was running in the race, and she was tripped. No fault of her own. She's tripped, she falls, and ends up at the back. Nobody stopped running to say, oh, let's give her an opportunity. Girl, come on. Guess what everybody else kept doing? I'm looking at the video, as a matter of fact, when I read it, I looked at the video, and I said, maybe she would have gotten up and said, hey, slow down, hold on. She got up, didn't even look around, started running again. But when she got up and started running again, it was something different. It was something. I don't know what was on her mind, but when I was looking at her, it looked like she was saying, I got to make up ground now. Something, this happened in my life, this happened in this situation. Look at somebody and say, you got to make up ground now. But Pastor, I didn't have that education. You got to make up ground now. Pastor, I don't have the finances. Okay, you got to make up ground now. Pastor, but I've been without. That failed, that didn't work, that didn't. You got to make up. Look at somebody and say, stay focused on the goal. I think Paul gives us an idea of how to stay focused on the goal. Before I give you three things that I saw, Paul lists, he went through a liturgy of things that he could brag about in the flesh. He said, you don't know who I am. Paul said, I'm educated. Check. I'm in the right family. Check. I came over on the right side of the tracks. Check. I'm a Hebrew of Hebrew. I'm a Pharisee of Pharisee. Paul said, you know what? When it comes down to this stuff, I know it. Check. Then he said something that caught me off guard. For all of these people that believe your education is worth everything, Paul said, that's like manure. Now that I'll confess to you, I said, wait, stop, hold on. Because people are striving to get educated. They're going into debt to get education. Paul says, let me let you in on something. Don't you allow your flesh to make you think because you're so educated, you are all of that. One reason I believe Paul said that is because you can be educated and God can use you, and you can have no formal education. Y'all better help me in this house. Look at somebody saying God can use you. All he wants is a willing vessel. Paul says, I got all of the right. He says, but I'm going to throw it away. It's like manure. Now, I won't mess up. Yes, I will. I know you have to go to lunch after this, but have you ever been, I've driven by a hog pen, a big farm, and the whiff way off. I tried to put the AC on circulating inside only. It was too late. It was in there. I let the windows down and it bum rushed me. Paul says it's like that. If you try to impress God in your flesh, he said it's like manure. Everybody say stay focused on the goal. But then he tells you what God is looking for, and I love that about this portion of Philippians chapter 3, verses 13 and 14. He says, brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended. Paul says, with all of that, I ain't there. All that I could brag on in this flesh, I'm thinking I'm not there yet. And I think that's what God is trying to tell somebody in this room right now. That with all of the things that you think you have, God ain't through. God has had, don't ever think you have made it. God is still, if you're a songwriter, keep writing. I was talking to Elder Tim Thorne a few months ago, and so I asked him, just in casually, I said, Elder, are you still writing? No, I'm not writing. I said, you old selfish. How dare you, Troy? How dare you put the pen down and you are gifted to write songs? I wanted to encourage him. Some of you in this room right now, there's some things that God has blessed you with, and whatever your excuse is, how dare you? God is not through with you yet. But Pastor, there's a young lady that one of my sisters, Givelify, she introduced me to Veronica. Veronica has some type of ailment that her hands are crippled into her body, and she can walk very, and she used to be a great, she would make things with her hands and all. And I'm saying, okay, well, I tried to be sensitive to it. This woman had the audacity to tell me, I'm not through. I can't do it like this, but I'm going to find a way to do. This is not the end. I love that, and I believe Paul deals with that. He says, and I want you to, those of you that are note takers, you ought to do this for your personal devotional time. Philippians chapter 3, verse 13 and 14, Paul brings out one thing. He says, forget. Everybody say forget. Now, this is important because God has created us mentally that forgetting is hard to do. Somebody hurt you? When you see them, stuff rush back. Don't look at me like you done forgot, because I haven't. God created us. The mind is created. But Paul is not saying that you have to be it where it did not exist. Paul is saying don't let that hold you hostage. All right, the example of that is, have y'all ever told somebody, forget you? You still see them. They're still there, but you're telling them, I'm not going to give you that kind of weight in my life. Paul says, forget those things that are behind. All right, let's see. Let's put it a different way. How many of you drove today? How many of you drove? Come on, let me see your hand. I'm not talking about how you drove. I'm just saying you drove. Have you noticed how small the rear view mirror is? How large the front glass is? They're going to get it in a minute. Sister Haggard. The rear view mirror is much smaller. The front glass is much larger. I'm trying to get you to pay attention to really what's in front of you and a whole lot less of what's. Oh, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. Paul says, forget those things which are behind you. Stay focused on what's in front of you. But pastor, they don't like me. Forget them. I'm sorry. But pastor, they're talking about me. They're backstabbing me. Forget them. Oh, no. I'm not going to give you that. Ooh. Can I share something with y'all? Thank you. That's all I needed. I remember somebody saying, hey, man, they're trying to stop you from getting to that where you are. And I thought to myself, well, I believe it was the Spirit of God said, okay, let them do what they do, but don't turn around and start paying attention to them when I'm trying to take you there. It's hard to beat somebody running if you're busy looking back at them. It's hard to beat somebody. It's hard to make it somewhere when God is saying, I need you to focus here, and you're talking about what they did and what they think and what they're talking about and who don't like you. Look at somebody and say, stay focused on the goal. Paul says, forget those things which are behind you. Forget that. I messed up. They left me. Y'all do know life goes. Okay, you're getting it already. You can't. It's one thing for the enemy to try to hold you there. I'm trying to keep you. I'm trying to keep you in your past. I'm trying to keep you in your hurt. I'm trying to keep you in your depression. I'm trying to keep you under bondage. It's another thing for you to say the devil is a lie. No. It happened. It's over. As a matter of fact, some of the reasons some folk are still in the situation they're in is because they haven't told themselves it's over. Girl, he's gone. All right. You know what? Adam may have been the first, but he wasn't the only one after a while. Okay, see somebody's messing. Girl, I don't know what I'm going to do without him. I'm going to keep going. Somebody say, I'm going to keep going. He was my life. No, he ain't. Ooh, I cried. It hurt. They're gone. I had to clear their spot up. I moved their stuff out the closet. I put it in the trash. I burned whatever it is. But I'm forgetting those. Some of y'all need to, I know, all it takes is one. Sometimes people are coming back in your life to not only see where you are now, but to see if you've moved on past them. Everybody say this real loud to practice. Everybody just shout, forget you. That's all. How you doing? I'm fine. Let me keep going. Because if you do that, you allow them to put you back in the bondage. Hold you back. Brothers. Oh, she was your heart. You thought she was the only one. But there are other people God has planned for you. All right. I'll move on. Everybody say forget. Paul says if you're going to stay focused on the goal, you're going to have to forget some stuff. You're going to have to forget some people. But Pastor, but they don't want me on that job, or I didn't get that job. Okay. They haven't stopped making jobs. They're still looking for people to fill them. All right. They haven't stopped. But Pastor, they turned my application down. That's not the only place taking them. I don't know why. I didn't get the house. They haven't stopped building them. They wouldn't finance the car. Maybe God is trying to tell you to save a little more money. I'm going to let y'all in on something. House builders, house sellers, they want you to get the house. Car dealerships, they want you to get the car. It could be God telling you, I got something better for you. You crying about this. Everybody say, forget it. That's one thing I've learned. How many people of God I got in the house? How many people, if you're God's child, let me see you. Okay, if that didn't work because you're God's child, he's got something better for you. I'm trying to, all right. But no. That was the thing I wanted. That was the thing, and God is saying, I'm trying to help you out. I'm trying to bless you, and you sitting here trying to hold me, God, hostage on the blessing I want for you. Look at somebody and say, stay focused. Paul says, forget. Everybody shout, forget. Oh, man, my time. Forgive me. Can I go over maybe 10 more minutes? Paul says, forget. Then he says there in verse 13, he says in the text, not only do I want you to forget those things which are behind, but I now want you to now reach. Everybody say reach. I love this. Can I let you in on my study? Because he said, forget behind, reach forward. Not reach backwards. And forget what's behind. No, forget here, reach here. He's saying, get your mind off of that. It didn't happen. It went wrong. It failed. She tripped. Forget that. Look here. Let me let y'all, I love this about God because the Bible says he's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. All right, now I'm going to mess up. This is where I know it's going to hurt from old school, but this is one of the areas that I have challenges with the preacher always saying, I'm going to get back to the old time way as if God is stuck back there. All right. No. He's the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. You don't have to go back. Just keep going. Guess where he's going to be? Everybody say, guess where? My granddaughter, she did this a few weeks ago. She wanted to race in the house. She wanted to race. And so I think I'm pretty fast. And so, her legs are shorter. And she haven't quite got walking or running down like me. And so she wanted to race. And so she says, tell my other daughter, say, get ready, set, and go. Well, see, I know you don't have to wait until after go. You can run on go. That's cheating on the baby. So I already know. So she said, get ready, set, and I'm. So she's still there. I'm already gone. I'm already on my way. Now I'll confess to you, I'm somewhat a challenge in this. I didn't look back to see where the car was. It was a race. Ain't my fault she's 4. She challenged me. Some of y'all missing it. No. All that Papa, wait. You said it's a race. So the next time I was going to be a little more grandfatherly, and so I tried to give her a chance, and so they said ready, set, go. So she burst out, and so I'm trying to, this little girl went on. She went on further down. I said, wait, hold on. Now when I did it, you complained. Now you ain't even looking back till you get way up there. Then she started running back this way. What she was saying is, if you really want to win, if you really want to be the one ahead, there's some things once you learn better, you need to do better. Paul says, forget and reach. All right, they missed it. Once you learn better, you need to do better. After today, don't complain about this. Forget and reach. What is it that God has put before you? This business. It didn't work here, but could God be saying, I've been holding off for this season? One of my favorite shows on TV is Shark Tank. Shark Tank. Anybody ever seen Shark Tank? And they said, and for part of the seasons, they said one of the most difficult times for businesses was during the pandemic. Tough time for businesses. A lot of businesses, tough time. But there were some that came to Shark Tank that thrived. The one lady said, well, this didn't work anymore. So we had to find new ways to get our product out there. What she did was, she didn't complain about, this is not working, look at what we're losing. She said, I got to reach. There's somebody. And they began to thrive, making so much money during the time. She would not allow the excuse of her situation. All right. Everybody say reach. For some people, reaching is intimidating because you got to be reaching for something. Some people, reaching is intimidating because it's going to take you out of your comfort zone. Reaching to some, and I know what you're saying, but Pastor, what if other people see me reaching? That's their business. I'm not doing it for them. I'm after something. Everybody say, stay focused on the goal. I'm after something. I don't have to publicize it. You don't have to give me a cheer. I'm reaching for something. Paul says what it is. Look there in verse 13. He says, and reaching forward to those things which are ahead. Everybody say ahead. All right, get this. I'm not reaching where I'm at. He says reach. See something? Whatever the word is, everybody say reach forward. Stop complaining here. Stop being complacent here. Are y'all with me? But I've been thinking about, it's something, a lady hit me. She said something that's been in me all of this time about designing clothing, and I don't know what it is. I don't have a clue about it, but this won't let me alone. I thought to myself, that's a good place for God to use. Could it be he's putting something in you that you have not looked at, and God has given you creativity? So she started reaching. Everybody say reach. Paul says forget. Paul says reach. And then the last part, he says press. Everybody say press. I attributed press to several things. One was, if you've ever been a person that lift weights, a little weight, you can do that real fast, a lot of, but start putting some real weight on there. It becomes, you may need some help. It becomes a another one is, even if it's lightweight, keep doing it enough. Yeah, do that lightweight. You can do it. If I was buff like my nephew, you can do it real. I can do 100 repetitions of push-ups, and this is easy. I can lift 10 pounds. This ain't nothing. Well, all right. Do 500. It becomes, yeah. Even the light stuff. Everybody say press. I thought about a football team. The press is you do have opposition. I don't know why people think you're not going to have opposition. You do have opposition. They on the field to stop you. You do have opposition. You got to play, they got to play. Some of y'all going to get it in a few minutes. They got coaches, they got somebody on their team to say we're going to try to stop them. But I hadn't seen a good football team get disappointed because they got opposition. We're going to have to work a different play, but we're going back out. The goal is still up there. I'm trying to get there, so even though I have opposition, even though they won't quit, neither will I. Everybody say, stay focused. I love good running backs. Back in the day when I was younger, we had somebody in Houston called Earl Campbell. Anybody remember Earl Campbell? All right, I lost some of y'all. Earl Campbell. Earl was known, they said just Brother Stringer's brother Art. Art used to play on the Oilers, with the Oilers at that time, and he said, the coach said, just get Earl the ball. Earl would run, he would run over you. Boom, big leg, boom, run right over you. It wasn't that he didn't have opposition, he just refused to allow opposition to stop him. He chose to press when some folk would have, I love somebody when you hit up against a wall and say, we're not stopping yet. Everybody say, don't stop. The doctor said this. Okay, I'm not stopping. Paul says, press. Everybody shout, press. Somebody in this room, help me, Lord. The reason you may not be where you think you ought to be is because there is no press. You've got comfortable. It's easy. And when you come up against opposition, then, oh, that didn't work. Okay, I keep pressing on. That didn't happen. Okay, I keep pressing on. They don't like me. Everybody say press. Look at somebody and say press. But I tried it last year and it didn't work like that. Okay, so that don't work, but that won't stop the press. I'm going to find a different way, but if I believe this is what God has put in my heart, I'm going to. Everybody shout press. Paul says if you're going to stay focused on the goal, you got to forget, you got to reach, and then you got to press. This young lady, she tripped and failed. The commentators counted her out. The commentators counted her out. Uh-oh, she's at the back. Oh, well. Sister Troy, that woman had the audacity to get up, to see all of them that were in front of her, and did not allow where she was to stop her from pressing. She pressed past all of them. What could have been in her? Oh, I wish I could have had a meeting with her and say, if you ain't saved, you need to be saved. Because that type of intense tenacity to say, I won't let nothing stop me till she got to the front and won. Paul says this is the type of thing I need you to do for not only your Christian walk, for knowing God, but you need to apply this in every area of your life. Quit giving God excuses. Quit telling God what you can't do or what's so hard and what's so. Forget, reach, and press. Everybody say forget. Say it louder. Say forget. Somebody needs to hear you. You're encouraging somebody else. Say forget. Matter of fact, say it louder for yourself. Shout, forget, reach, and press. Heads are bowed, eyes are closed.